In this video, I'll talk about the number one easiest way to become a millionaire. I'll also break that down into a 3-step plan you can apply in your own life. And I'll show you how compound interest can do some amazing things in practice. I have an Excel sheet, and then I'll also show you where you can download that Excel sheet and use it on your own. Okay, the number one easiest way to become a millionaire, it's not a glamorous answer, it's a job plus investing. There are more people than any other profession that become a millionaire or multimillionaire by simply keeping a steady paycheck and investing every paycheck into the stock market. You probably read those articles out there titled 401k millionaire. Well, simple formula, a job plus investing. All right, so let's break this down in practice. So here are the 3 steps. Step 1, like I said, a steady paycheck is critical. Now, if you're somebody who has gaps in employment, I get it. There are people that get laid off. Maybe you had a business and it didn't work out. That's okay. Fortunately, and I'll actually show you how compound interest can make up for that, create some nice cushion and kind of a lifeline in your own life, and kind of a bit of a lifeline to make up for lost time. But anyway, step 1 again, a job. Step 2 is what's called DCA, dollar cost average. This is the strategy of investing every month. You can't skip a month. You have to be investing every month. See, when you're an employee at a large company and you're investing in your 401k, they don't skip months. They automatically take from your paycheck and put it into the stock market. 401k, real quick, is a bundle of stocks. It's very similar to index funds, ETFs, and mutual funds. And in any of these cases, you're going to pretty much match the market, getting returns that are about 6 to 8% per year. Either way, over the course of 20, 30 years, with a steady paycheck and investing in a fund, 401k, index fund, ETF, or mutual fund, you can become a millionaire or multimillionaire. I'll actually show you how that's possible in a minute. Step 3 is stockpiling. This is the number one most important strategy of investing. See, the market at times will go down, which is what we want. And when you're holding those on sale, those really strong businesses that we like to find in Tykr, what you want to do is you want to attack. You want to deploy that capital and buy more shares when the market goes down. Because what happens is the market can slingshot, take off like a rocket, and that's when you make really big returns. So again, just to kind of recap those 3 steps. Step 1, get a job or a steady paycheck. Step 2, DCA, dollar cost average, invest every month. And step 3, stockpile. When the market goes down, that's when you want to buy more. All right, before I jump into this Excel sheet to show you compound interest at its best, let me show you a quick case study. There's a guy out there by the name of Ronald Reed, passed away a few years ago, but you can look up this article on CNBC. This was a janitor who built up a net worth of $8 million. The question is, how does somebody who's making close to minimum wage become a multimillionaire? The answer, steady paycheck, DCA, dollar cost average. This guy invested in individual stocks, strong stocks we like to find in Tykr, and he did that month over month. He did not skip a month, he invested month over month. Now the question is, I did not find information on this on stockpiling, in other words, buying more when the market goes down, but regardless, he was following those first 2 steps to a T, steady paycheck and investing every month. So this should give you perspective that no matter what you do for a living, you can become a millionaire by investing in the stock market. All right, let's drill in a little further. I'll show you what the math looks like. So I have this compound interest calculator, and you can actually go download this yourself. So if you go to Tykr.com, go to education, and then you'll see this drop down. There's a whole bunch of information that's free, investing tips, onboarding. There's even calculations. We are one of the only platforms out there that has open source calculations. So you can go take the calculations and go create your own version of Tykr. We just help people. You can totally do that. However, we still hope you stay with us. But anyway, if you go down to downloads, you'll see this page here with a few options such as retirement calculator, Tykr fair value. What you're looking for is this compound interest calculator. All right, so let's take a look here just to show you the comparison between different rates of returns over time and how somebody like Ronald Reed becomes a multimillionaire. Okay, so we're going to use the US average salary, which is about $50,000. I think this was from like 2022 or 3. So it's a nice round number. We'll start there. Then our annual contribution will be 15% of our annual income we're putting into the stock market. Of course, you want to do it month by month, but it really adds up to 15% over the course of a year. We tell people when they join Tykr, try to invest between $15 and 30%. If you can't do that high, that's okay. Start small. Start with like $100 a month and kind of work your way up. We'll use 15%. That tells us that we are investing about $7,500 in the stock market, and we're going to start with $5,000. That's our initial investment. So now let me show you what the returns look like over 10, 20, and 30 years. Okay, here we go. At the top, we have 1%. This represents your savings account. Most savings accounts like mine get like 0.01%. I'm not even going to really worry about that, but I'm putting 1% here to be generous. All right, next up, we've got 8%. This represents what kind of returns you can get with a 401k, index fund, ETF, or mutual fund. So it's really a product that's really matching the market. And then when you're using Tykr, we aim for percentages that range between 15 and 50% per year. So we're using 15%, and then we're going to use 25%. For context, my returns are closer to that 50% year over year. But overall, most people using Tykr, you should get between 15 and 50%. And you can earn between 15 and 50% if you have a focused portfolio of about 10 to 15 stocks. If you start investing in too many stocks like 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever, in that case, you're building an index fund or ETF, and you're going to get those 8% returns. So you don't want too big of a portfolio, meaning number of stocks. You want a focused portfolio. All right, let's take a look here. So with your salary and your contribution, you can see 1% return over 10 years gets you to about $83,000. Over 20 years, it's $171,000, and over 30 years, it's $267,000. So you don't want to use your savings account for building your wealth. That's just for protection. That's where you want to keep your emergency fund. So looking at 8% with that salary and your investment returns, over 10 years, it's $119,000. Over 20 years, it's $366,000, and over 30 years, $899,000. There you go. That's why there's all those articles out there on 401k millionaires. They're working their entire life, putting money away, and over time you can see you build up a pretty sizable account. All right, let's focus on individual stocks, those 15% returns. All right, over 10 years, you're looking at $172,000. Over 20 years, $850,000, and over 30 years, here we go, $3.5 million. Now we're talking. Okay, let's look at 25% returns. Over 10 years, that's $295,000. Over 20 years, $3 million, and over 30 years, you're looking at $28 million. There you go. This gives you great context. Ronald Reed was most likely beating the market. He was probably getting somewhere maybe 8 to 15%, maybe some years over 15%, but that's how, with a salary that's close to minimum wage, yet investing in individual stocks, that's where you get those big returns to build up a portfolio of $8 million. You have to be in those individual stocks. And this guy, just to jump to the screen here, some of the stocks he was holding included Procter & Gamble, JP Morgan & Chase, General Electric, Dow Chemical, JM Smucker, CVS Health, and Johnson & Johnson. All right, you can see not a huge portfolio, meaning number of stocks. It was a highly focused portfolio. Now let's play with the numbers a little bit. We know $50,000 average salary with a 15% contribution can get you some pretty big numbers in the market over 10, 20, and 30 years. So let's just dial this up to, let's say your salary is $80,000. And we're going to change that annual contribution to 20%. So at a salary of $80,000, contribution of 20% means you're putting in $16,000 a year. Of course, you're spreading that out over every month. And we're going to keep that starting amount at $5,000. So let's start at the top. So 1% over 10 years, that's $172,000. Over 20 years, that's $358,000. And over 30 years, that's $563,000. So that's your savings account. Again, I wouldn't be putting money into your savings account as an investment vehicle. I would use that for your emergency fund. Okay, 8%, 401k millionaires. What do they look like? So over 10 years, you're at $242,000. Over 20 years, you're at $755,000. And there you go, 30 years, $1.8 million. Again, a job plus investing in the markets simply by just investing in a 401k, an index fund, ETF, or mutual fund can give you some decent returns over 30 years. But some of you may be saying, that's a really long time. I want to be making a lot more money in less time? Well, here we go. 15%. Over 10 years, you're at 355,000. Over 20 years, you're at 1.7 million. And over 30 years, 7.2 million. There you go. Just 15% gets you some pretty sizable numbers. All right, 25%. Over 10 years, 578,000. Over 20 years, you're at 5.9 million. And over 30 years, you're at 55 million. So at the end of the day, what I would be doing if I was somebody who's still working and I have a goal to achieve financial independence that could be 5, 10, maybe 15 years out, I would be one, keeping my job or making sure I have a steady paycheck, no matter if it's working for somebody or if I'm an entrepreneur, making sure I'm paying myself every month. Ensuring that steady paycheck is key. And 2, investing in great businesses every month. Do not skip a month. And step 3, this is the big one. If you can find some great stockpiling opportunities when the market starts crashing, you should be excited and you want to deploy capital. And when the market corrects, that's when you make some really big returns. But overall, I hope this video gave you great perspective on how easy it is to become a millionaire. Patience is key. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight, but no matter what you do, it doesn't work that way. But overall, I hope this gives you great perspective that anybody can become a millionaire. If Ronald Reed was able to do it, you can do it. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to start investing on your own with confidence, I invite you to join Tykr for free.